say that, and I would say people will get, like, a dude would get aggressive in nature, not rapey,
sure,
but basically like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't realize they're being uncomfortable. Maybe they think they're being cute.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like,
well, a lot of times it's based on how,
like,
good
you have the
looking
Aziz
person
example.
is. Yeah.
Where he was like, I did not know that I was making this person uncomfortable.
And that whole thing sounds weird. Anyway.
Right.
Like,
On its face.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, the Aziz story to me was just like, that's too far. Like that's, I mean, I have a little bit of a problem with that. Like, I don't understand what the thinking is. It's like the dude invites you back to his place. You know how dudes are. Like, what is going through your mind? You're going to, like, actually Netflix and chill? No. Right?
You can't
get there.
Slobber on his balls.
You can't rewrite the narrative of what the nature of most men.
Right. So you get there, and then he starts doing something you're not comfortable with, right? Like, he starts coming on to you, and your first reaction is, okay, I'm not comfortable, I'm leaving. No, you decide to stay. Like, what?
Yeah, why didn't you leave?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this sorry's gonna stop you.
But that's a difference that you're right, and that's a different situation than being Chris D'Elia, who is like continuously texting underage girls.
Right.
I've seen some of I haven't seen any of his, but I've seen some of the texts these guys
D'Elia is a creep.
And the girl will fucking say, like, I'm 16. Is that okay? Like, no, it's not okay. Like, what were you doing at a 21 and over club in the first place? Like, where the fuck are your parents?
Right.
Why are you in a situation where this famous fucking pedophile can come after you?
But at the same time, Chris D'Elia, though, also just only using my just judgment of a human being, just judging one human being to another human being. Chris D'Elia, hands down, looks like a fucking child molester, dude. Dude is a
he has date rape.
He has a date rape face.
That's why he's been cast twice in that type of.
I've been saying it for 5 years, dude. Chris D'Elia looks like a fucking rapist.
Yeah,
just
I
the way his face looks. Just looks. If he was wearing aviator glasses, you would know. If he was wearing aviator glasses, he'd be in fucking prison. like Dahmer aviator glasses, like wireframe glasses. Dude would be in
and a trench coat.
You would see him and be like, "Oh, that's a fucking rapist."
You know, one thing I don't like about listening to Bill Burr is he'll talk about stuff, but he won't name names, and so he's like, I'm not going to talk out of school. Not going to talk out of school. But, like, I can't research this shit if you're not. If you don't,
you got to talk in school a little bit, Bill.
Like, because most of the time he's like, I don't know anything about this situation. I wasn't involved. I barely know these people. I've worked in comedy clubs with them. But when female comics are complaining about something, when this dude hasn't caught a charge or seen a trial, like, they've already tried and convicted him in the court of Twitter. And, like, I don't know, but like you said, there's text messages of him going back and forth. The girl being like, I'm 17. Like, well, then call me in fucking 6 months.
Right. Yeah. Like, there's a line where, like, at one point you then go too far.
Yeah.
But also,
if you're at all famous, like, if three dudes who I haven't seen any of his work, but I know
call me in
like,
6 months, I'll keep fluffing it. What I mean,
like, call me in 6 months and see where we're at. Like, I don't. Once you're 18, maybe we can talk, but I can't talk to you right now.
But also, why does this keep happening? How does it keep happening? Like, he's like, call me and even if he's in a situation where he's like, oh, you're not 18 yet, you're 17 and a half. Call me in 6 months. It's still it's creepy.
It's creepy.
It's still creepy.
At least it's legal at that point.
But why is it still a thing? Like, oh, call me in 6 months. I had to just say that a couple weeks ago, but I had to tell her to call me in 2 years.
Why do you into that situation, Chris?
I had to tell her to call me in 2 years. And a couple weeks ago, I had to tell somebody else to call me in 3 years because I'm a fucking creep who messages fucking 15-year-olds online. Why are you in this fucking situation, dude?
That's a good point.
Like, it should be a one-timer.
Right.
Because you have rape face.
Rape face.
Could you imagine just being born looking like a sexual predator? That's gotta suck.
Or imagine looking like Kevin Spacey. He doesn't look dangerous.
No, he just looks like a person.
Even when he plays a fucking serial killer, he
Right.
doesn't look dangerous.
That's the most. So Kevin Spacey's the most dangerous type of sexual predator.
In Seven, he's the most endearing looking.
Right.
You know what's crazy though? Like I was thinking about Kevin Spacey before when we were talking about Weinstein and the other guys, and like a few months before he was outed, like a few months before the whole Me Too thing and everyone started getting named, I had heard. So I worked with a second AD who had worked with him, and she was telling me like all the stories about him. So it was very known in the industry the type of person he was, and like so, and he would give passes at young guys, so like below 21 years old.
Yeah, and he's 60.
I know. So, like, she told me a story of how she went to a rap party with him, right? And she took her brother, and he was hitting on her brother, like the whole night. Yeah. The whole night. And obviously the brother was not into that. And he's like, oh, I have a girlfriend, but he didn't care. He was hitting on him the whole time.
Yeah. Well, and he's the way he handled it too. He's like, oh, well, I'm a homosexual. Like, people have been asking you for a long time, and you start catching flack for raping 14-year-old boys at parties in New York City. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm a homosexual. Like there's
still an age of consent. Yeah, there's still an age of consent. Even
also, way to set back that movement.
Like, no shit. Like,
because there's a population of people out there who are like, oh, homosexuals are sexual deviants.
Yeah,
which is not.
There's a big population of people who think that.
Right, and so then the first thing he does when he gets caught for doing what he's doing,
for being a sexual deviant,
he goes, well, no, don't worry about it. I'm just gay.
It's okay.
Like,
I'm a homosexual.
You piece of shit.
Like that dude was 14. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're also 14.
It's like, well, fuck you, buddy. Like, no,
no thanks.
That's not how that works.
No, but some of the other ones I don't have any pity for. Like, what's her name? The Rose McGowan. I don't. Sorry, she was of age and she wanted a job, and so she fucked Weinstein. Like, sorry, I got nothing for you.
Well, I mean, look, that's like. I'm not here condoning Weinstein, right? Like what he did is fucked up. He abused his power and all that. But
absolutely,
the girls knew what they were getting into.
They did. You're not going to a script read at 3:30 in the morning at a hotel room with a dude in a bathroom.
Right. They knew very well. They knew very well. Like, look, if I want my career to advance, I got to do a few things.
It's just a shame it was like that even in the first place.
Well, and
no, of course, I agree. Like, it shouldn't be that way.
There was that lady.
What was that girl I sent you the stuff on the other day that basically kind of like halfway fucked her way into the industry, but not really.
Oh,
not quite.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name was, but yeah, exactly. She's
same type of gal. Yeah,
yeah. And then 5 years later, she's like, "Oh, I was raped." Like, no, you weren't. You weren't. You got a job. You were a whore. You traded your body for a job. Like, I'm not saying that's what happened with the Weinstein people, but that girl's a whore. Like, without question. I can't remember what her name is, but the whole description of that story.
See if I can track the conversation
and the way she kept pulling stuff up from 5 years ago, but now you're with another dude who's 40 years older than you and can get you a job. Like, you're a fucking whore. That's it. It's not. And you know what? That's an acceptable way for somebody to go through life, as long as you don't pretend like you're something else. You're not an actress. You're not an artist. You're a whore. And it's just fine because it's going to get you money. Sometimes that's all you can do.
I mean, I'd probably banging out with Weinstein for a few $1 million.
Charlotte Kirk.
Yeah. See, nobody's heard of her, but she's probably got millions of more dollars than I do.
The headline is Meet Charlotte Kirk, the 28-year-old actress who took down 2 studio chiefs.
Yeah.
She took down the NBC Universal Vice Chairman Ron Meyer, one of the longest tenured top executives in Hollywood, had been fired from NBC Universal due to fallout from an extramarital affair. Was big enough to rock the industry, but then the news broke that the woman Meyer had the relationship. God damn it. Meyer had the relationship with was none other than Charlotte Kirk, whose extramarital affair with former Warner Brothers CEO Kevin Tsujihara in 2013 and 2014 ultimately led to his resignation in 2019.
See that? 2 extramarital affairs. And she's involved in both of them, knows these dudes are married. That's
right.
Her being a whore. Like you can doctor it up, you can wash the windows, you can say whatever, but no, honey, you're a whore.
Well, and she used that she used it to like work her way into into a couple movies, like small roles. I think she got a small role in like the Ocean's 8 movie.
Ugh.
But
that was a mistake.
And then you go to her Instagram and it's just like full of like really, I wouldn't call them risque or anything like that, but they were very like showing pictures.
Oh, she's just showing off.
Yeah,
goods.
just like, yeah.
Yeah, because she's got another couple years before she hits the wall and she's done. And nobody wants to talk about it, but it's true.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
if you don't have a personality past 30, honey, you're not getting anything.
Yes.
You've got cats and knitting in your future. I'm sorry.
Cats and knitting.
And Megan Fox thumbs.
Ooh. Ooh. The Nimish thumbs, we used to call those.
Nimish thumbs.
The Nimish thumbs. Not quite gnomish. Don't fit her hands, though.